Hey guys, welcome back. So I try to do a video like this every year that we sit back and we look back at what my goals were for for this year, 2021. And I'm going to tell you if I accomplished it or if I didn't accomplish it, why I didn't accomplish it, those kind of things. So I wanted to start off by saying that a lot can change in a year. And me in particular, I've changed a lot this year. I changed a lot last year. I tend to just change a lot year to year anyway. But 2021 in particular was a really big year for me on self-love. And that was not something that I had maybe even my entire life. I think when I was younger, I loved myself more, but through the midst of going through like a really bad relationship, I really lost a lot of love for myself. I let somebody that didn't have respect for themselves or respect for me get in my ear and tell me things about myself that weren't true. And I listened to that and I believed that. So this past year, I had to kind of sit back and look at it and pay attention to these false beliefs and start to change them about myself. So when I wrote this list, I know I had a lot of big goals, ambitions, dreams, whatever. And I want to kind of put you into my thought process of where I was last year. So 2020, I got out of a 6-year relationship, and my defense mechanism was to throw myself into work. I had no interest in dating because I have major trust issues still. That's something I'm still working on, but no interest in dating. So the thing I threw myself into was like going out with people and my work. So basically 2020, I worked a lot more than I probably needed to. I put a lot of stress on myself that I didn't need to have, because I was trying to keep myself busy, because sitting at home and having free time gave me time to basically realize the wounds that I had. And it was easier initially to just power through it, not pay attention to it, just be like, I'm fine. But over time that did catch up to me, and I really noticed about the beginning to midway through 2021 that I had a lot of emotional issues that I really needed to work on, and they just couldn't be ignored, and I couldn't just throw myself into work and pretend like it was okay, because it wasn't. So I was debating if I was even going to mention this, but I received a comment on one of my old videos, and I got the comment I think like a couple weeks ago. And this person said, oh, like they were watching one of my old videos and they said like, oh, you were so much more authentic here. And I really thought on that, because at first I was like, are you serious? Because like, let me tell you, like, if you loved that version of me that was in those videos years ago, I hate to tell you that that's not me now at all, like not even a little bit. So if that's the person that you fell in love with in the videos, then I'm really, really sorry. But that girl that you were watching was very insecure. She was very unsure of herself. I think the only reason that I was likable at all then, and I say that in quotes because I had no friends. So if you guys liked me in my videos, that's great. But let me tell you, face to face in person, nobody liked me. Not even me. I didn't even like me. The people I was around didn't like me. I didn't like me. I was miserable. I was depressed. I was not in a good spot. So anyway, but I think I really thought hard about, because at first, like I said, I was like completely baffled. I was like, really? You think this like little insecure girl that would do anything to get attention and would like, change, like I changed my personality, I changed my look, I changed my interests, like literally I didn't watch any of the movies that I wanted to watch, I didn't read books I wanted to read, I didn't wear the clothes I wanted to wear, I didn't have my hair the color I wanted it to be, I didn't do my makeup the way, like it was like I was not in any way authentic. But I think that it came across more authentic because in that time I was so lonely and so sad and so in desperate need of friendship that I just poured myself into YouTube, because that's literally like all I had. I had my family, and I never want to like disclude them, but family can only like be so much. You need your friends, you need people like that, and I had none of that. I had nobody. So I think that I just gave you guys a huge part of me during that time. And I think that's why it came across as more authentic, is that like you guys were basically seeing my poor little broken heart. And I do know, like, I thought I saw lipstick on my dude. I was like, but I do know that people that were close to me during that time, or that talked to me more or whatever, there's a lot of you that do realize like how bad things were at that point in time, and like how things have changed now. But I do want to say, for new people like that person that commented, that you may not realize that that was a sad, scared girl putting up a front so that people would like her. And yeah, now I'm different. I don't crave the approval the way I used to. And that's because that's not what I'm here for. I didn't start making videos to get approval from people. I think at the time I partially did. But initially my reasoning for making videos was to help other groomers. So that is still my goal. That's still my intention, and that's what I'm focused on. But I did want to clear the air, because I think it's pretty well known how much I've changed over the last year, the last 2 years, the last 5 years even. There's so much that has changed about me. And I think it's for the better. Maybe not everybody does. I'm definitely a lot more abrasive now than I was then, because at that point in time, I was just so desperate for people to like me that I, like I said, would have said or did anything just to like have a friend. Whereas now, like, if I have a problem, I'm gonna say it, because like I don't see the benefit in sugarcoating things. You know what I mean? So I'm a lot more blunt. I put up with a lot less shit now. And I'm sure that can be very different when you were kind of used to seeing like sweet little, I just want to be your friend, Janine. And then now I'm not that way. So I guess wanted to explain that it probably does seem like maybe that, like, I could see how it would seem like I was more authentic then, because I don't sit down and do as many videos like this now. But I just wanted to clear the air that, yes, I am well aware that I have changed a lot. But like I said, I really had to come out of my shell and remind myself of who I really was, because when in those videos, I had no idea. I was just trying to be whatever I could be to be relevant, to have friends, to have people that loved and cared about me. That's all I cared about. I did not care about being true to myself, and that's probably why I was so miserable. So if you don't like the new way that I am, that I act, that I dress, that I look, I hate it for you. You're alone in that sense, because I am so much happier now, so much more content in myself. I have so much more confidence. I feel good. I wake up every day happy now. I don't wake up sick, stressed out, whatever. I actually feel good about myself. So I'm sorry if you don't like this new version of me, but this is what you're going to get now, because this is more of what I'm actually like versus like a couple years ago when I was just trying to shut up and look pretty. That was literally like my goal at that time in my life, was that the guy I was dating, he didn't really like a lot about my personality, so I literally just learned to sit there and look pretty. Shut up and look pretty. And that's all that I cared about at that point in time, and that's probably why I was so miserable. So anyway, 8 minutes in, blabbing about like how much I've changed, but I don't know. I feel like that's going to be relevant to this, because I kind of think that I didn't accomplish anything on this list, but we're going to see. We're going to see. I could be wrong, but I don't really remember what I wrote, so let's see. All right, so my first goal was I wanted to make 100K, which that was like really ambitious. That was like double what I'd made the previous year. Didn't quite make it, but I did pretty good, you guys. Did pretty good. Wow, I was okay. Back to what I was saying earlier, like at the end of last year, my goals were to like be big. I wanted big, big, big. And I was completely ignoring the stuff that I was going through, like the emotional stuff, just even like, you know, to like keep making all these huge leaps like I wanted to make. Like, it's like, I don't think I could have put the time I needed to put into like my business, for example. Like, I can't just like I wanted to perfect the level I'm at. Like, a lot of people are like, oh, are you going to buy another van? Are you going to do this? Are you going to do that? Right now, I want to get better at routing in a way that I'm not driving all over the place, which I have been working on and I'm doing better. So routing my schedule, I need to work on, you know, I've gotten a lot more people on a regular schedule, but I want to keep doing that, get more people pre-booking, booked out for the year, those kind of things. So that's really what I ended up focusing on. So again, these, I just glanced over and I was like, I mean, a little ambitious. Okay, so get 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. I think about like 2,000. So we got very ambitious on that. I think it's just the lighting that's making it look like lipsticks on my teeth. So don't mind me. Okay. The next one was get closer with my family, which I definitely did that. I've gotten closer with every family member, really. Yeah. This year I really did. Like, we went on some like family vacations, like even like family members that I have not been as close to, that I've had issues with in the past, we've gotten closer. So that I did do, and I'm actually really happy with that, and I'm glad that I did that. Okay. The next thing is go to 3 new places. I didn't go anywhere new that I can think of. But I traveled a good bit. Like, we went to Gatlinburg, we went to Universal, we went to Hilton Head, Savannah kind of area. That was like at the end of 2020 into 2021. So I did travel. I just didn't go anywhere new, but it's also like, you could kind of say I did though, because we went to Universal Studios and I hadn't been in 10 years, and the Harry Potter park was like completely different. So to me, it was like new. So I'm not mad. Like, I didn't go to new places, but I'm like happy. Like, I traveled and I went 3 places, more than 3 places, because there was also like a couple day trips in there. Like, went to Helen, Georgia, went to Chimney Rock. I learned how to shoot a gun last year. And I'm actually a really good shot too, by the way. So don't break into my house because I kill you. Just kidding. But yeah, so I learned how to shoot a gun. I learned how to open a champagne bottle. I got another dog. Yeah, we really did a lot. I did get better footing in my business. I hired an assistant to help me with like booking my schedule and cleaning my van, those kind of things. So I did do a lot. Okay, so the next thing is I wanted to collab with somebody that wasn't a groomer on YouTube. As I mentioned, my goals changed. When I wrote this list, I wanted to do a lot more focused on YouTube this past year. But then, like I said, as things happened, I kind of realized like that wasn't really where my efforts were needed at that point. I really needed to be front and center in my business and working in the van. So now that I've gotten my feeding and I'm a little bit more steady in the van, I'm going to have more time to do these kind of videos. And I'm really trying to commit to uploading weekly. So that's what we're hoping for. Oh, and I usually write like 10 things, but I actually, what did I write? 5? Yeah, I only wrote 5. Those were it. And then at the end, I said, live a happy, stress-free year, which I would say I did pretty good on that. Like, I mean, obviously there's still stressful things, like, you know, I don't know. Like, I got in a wreck. This is the first time I've talked about this. I got in a wreck. It was so stupid and so maddening. I was not in my van. I told like 3 people and they all thought I was in my van. Like, no, I do have multiple cars, and when I'm not working, I don't drive my van around. So, oh my God, this is so stupid, so maddening. Just mad at myself more than anything. So, I'm at a 4-way stop, and there was like this big truck thing with a trailer, and I'd like gone up to the sign. I saw him, and he was kind of like turning, but by the time I pulled up, I was like now in his way. So I was like, oh shit, and threw it in reverse and fucking rear-ended the car behind me. I was like, wow, dumbass. Like, way to look, Janine, way to look. So, that was, I don't know, it wasn't that stressful. My car was fine. Her car really wasn't bad. But it was a little stressful. It was like more like I was like, damn it, I know better than that. I drive all day long. I never do stupid shit like that. I was so mad at myself. So yeah, that was stressful. And then getting Hammer ended up being like a little stressful. I know that sounds terrible, but like when I took him in, I had no idea like how expensive he was gonna be. He had like over $1,000 worth of like medical issues whenever I brought him home. So I have spent a lot of money on him and now Stevie this year. So that's always stressful, like unexpected vet bills and stuff like that. And then I had to bring my van in for its first service, and they did not mention to me that it would take more than 1 day. So I was stupid and I just like assumed it would be like my car, you know, you drop it off for an oil change, just ready in a couple hours kind of thing. And I dropped it off and I like waited, and it was like almost time they were gonna close. So I called them and I was like, hey, like just checking my van. I was like, is it gonna be ready soon? And they were like, oh no, it's not gonna be ready today. And I had to like cancel a day, move appointments around. It was so crazy at the time, but ended up like all my clients were super understanding. I ended up moving them to a day off, and then I like explained to the van place, because they basically, the miscommunication was they work on like big semi trucks and stuff too, and apparently like with those type of vehicles, they told me a lot of times people will just drop them off and leave them for a while, so they assumed like my van was also that way. I was like, no babe, like there's only one of them and I gotta use it. So anyway, like I said, in the moment it was stressful. And then I came out one morning and my van was like on the rim. The air had gone out of the tire overnight. I think I had a nail or something in it, but that's kind of a fun story. I guess we're just reflecting back at this year and things that happened, but either way. So like I said, come outside, my van's on the rim. I go to get an air compressor so I can get it pumped up enough that I can bring it somewhere. And then after I get the air compressor, I go up to this like local tire shop that's like literally almost across the street from my house, like one street over. And I like told them what's going on. I'm like, my van's on its rim. I'm going to go home and try to pump it up. If I get it pumped up, can you plug it? And they're like, oh yeah. And then he's like, well, wait, it's on the rim. That's going to require a lot of air. He's like, let me send somebody to your house. So he had this guy like follow me back to my house, put air in my tire. I drove it up to the shop. They plugged it. It was like $25. So I was back on the road. So not so bad. And that's, that was really probably the only stressful things that happened to me this year, was me backing. And I literally backed into that person like a week ago. It like just happened. I was so embarrassed. I was so mad at myself because I'm not the type of person that does those kind of things. But you know, you get in a hurry. And that was like my thing, is like I should have known, because that's the kind of shit that happens when I get in a hurry. But you know me, I was like on the way, I got my nails done. Yeah, okay, so it was almost 2 weeks ago, because I literally just left the nail salon with this set whenever it happened, so. So fun. But luckily it was in my car and not in the van, and nobody was hurt. I really, like, if I had a foot in between us to like back up and hit her, that was a lot. So like really, like, we were both stopped. If I'd made it up to like 5 miles an hour, that'd be surprising. So it was all good. It was just annoying. I was just annoyed with myself because that's another like little thing that I have like left over from my childhood. Like my grandparents, when I was raised by my grandparents, and they were like the type when I was little, like if I made a mistake, they made it into a big deal. So I tend to still do that to myself. Like when I do like something that I fuck up, I'm so hard on myself over it. But it's okay. Everybody's fine. It's not that big of a deal. I've got a pretty good track record, because that's like, I've had 2 accidents that I caused, and one was like within the first month I had my license, and then that one the other day. So it's been like, I don't know, almost 15 years since I've caused an accident. So not a bad track record, but I was still mad at myself, you know. But yeah, that's all I can really think to talk about right now. My brain's kind of focused on going to get Stevie, because Stevie just like hates everybody that's not me or my assistant Becca. So she's probably so upset with me right now at the vet. So that's kind of like where my mind has gone. But all in all, 2020, I'm happy with it. I think it was a necessary year. Part of me feels like I didn't accomplish a lot, but then on the other hand, I feel like I accomplished a lot. Does that even make sense? Like, I feel like on paper, it's like I'm not in the same spot I was in last year, because like I said, I did a lot better with clients. I filled my book. I'm doing well financially, all those things. But it just like I said, like as far as like, I'm not like, I didn't do all these things, I guess. I did one thing. on my list. And I did travel to 3 places, just not 3 new places, which I still want to do. Still, I want to do a lot of traveling, but as we know, with the world in its current state, traveling's not that much easier. And I actually do remember thinking that whenever I wrote that one, I was like, that might be ambitious because, you know, 2020, we didn't really know what 2021 was going to be like, as far as like traveling and like those kind of things. So, I kind of had a feeling when I wrote that one, it might not happen. But yeah, I'm still really happy with how this past year has went. I am really proud of myself for the growth that I've made. Like I said, I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I know it's like more so now that I'm so outspoken about things. But at the end of the day, I've never been somebody that's had a lot of self-confidence, and I love myself now. Like, I really, really love myself. Like, even when I was making those videos back in the day, I never could watch myself back. I couldn't stand my personality. Like, I couldn't stand watching myself. I still can't stand. I've had people tell me, like, oh, you should go watch your old videos. I can't stand to look at that girl because I know what's going through her head. And I'm like, she is a fucking mess. And it was like, that girl was fucking drowning and had nobody there to save her. And she had to like drag herself up out of the water, pull herself together, and fucking fix it herself. So anyway, like I said, I know a lot has changed, but I am so proud of myself. And I love the person that I have become. Like I said, I enjoy watching my own videos now. I enjoy seeing the person that I have become. And it's a really good feeling to know the turnaround that I made, because I never thought it would be something that would be possible for me. If you would have told me 5 years ago when I was at my lowest of lows that, you know, just 5 years later that I would own my own house, own my business, and, you know, 4 dogs, all these things, all these amazing things I've accomplished, I never would have thought it was possible 5 years ago. So even though I didn't accomplish every single thing on my list, I'm still happy with how the year went, and I'm okay with that. Like, and some of these goals, like, and even I was looking back at the 2020 goals, and some of those goals have even changed. Like, I don't want to go into that, actually. I thought better of it. I was like, let's not get it controversial. But you know, things change. So year to year, I think it's good to have goals, and to have like a direction. But it's also okay if you don't do everything like by the book. You know what I mean? Like, you're allowed to live a little, and sometimes you learn as you go. So like I said, I started off this year thinking like it was going to be a big year. I wanted to push, do more. And then I realized, you know what? I need to get my feet stable where I'm at rather than trying to like run to the next level. Like, let's just appreciate where we are before we jump to the next thing. That being said, I have a lot of things that I want to accomplish in 2022. I have a good feeling. I'm scared to say that out loud. I feel like that like jinxes it, but I have a good feeling about this year. And yeah, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. This video is more for like my longtime subscribers. I know like a lot of the newbies, they just want to see like me groom some dogs real quick. They don't care about me like you guys do. You guys that are still watching at 23 minutes in. So I love you guys, and I appreciate you guys that actually like my personality and that actually like me and that come here to spend your time with me. That's freaking amazing that people would think to spend their off time on watching my channel. So yeah, I appreciate it. Or maybe while you're working. I guess it doesn't really matter where you watch it, but regardless, you're sharing your time with me, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch my videos. And anyway, I hope that I give you something back, maybe a little inspiration, maybe a little tip here and there. I don't know. I hope it's worth your while. All right, I love you guys. Thank you as always for watching and supporting me and being so freaking amazing. I love you all so much. See you in the next one. Bye.